Once upon a time, a farmer was walking through the woods when he found a baby eagle that had fallen from its nest. He took pity on the little bird and brought it home. Unsure what to do, he placed it in a chicken coop with the other chickens. The eagle, too young to know any better, began to grow up among the chickens. Day after day, it scratched the ground for food, clucked awkwardly, and flapped its massive wings with no idea what they were truly meant for. It never soared. It never tried. It believed it was a chicken because that's what it saw all around it. And so it lived its life grounded, never knowing it was meant to fly. Most people live like that eagle, not because they lack potential, but because they've been raised in a mental chicken coop, surrounded by average thinkers, by people who believe success is for others, that chasing your dreams is a waste of time, that ambition is dangerous, that playing it safe is noble. They clip their own wings, and then yours too. Your environment is programming you. Here's the harsh truth. Your surroundings shape you more than your ambition ever will. It's easy to say, I'm motivated, but motivation can't survive when you're constantly hearing, be realistic from everyone around you. If your friends roll their eyes every time you speak about growth, if your family plants fear every time you mention risk, you're not just fighting your own doubts, you're fighting theirs too. That's why your environment is more powerful than your willpower. You could have the best goals, the smartest plans, the deepest hunger, but if you're trapped in an environment that's allergic to growth, you will suffocate. Trying to grow around poor-minded people is like planting a seed in dry concrete. The sunlight and water won't matter. It won't grow unless you change the soil. And when I say poor people, I'm not just talking about income. I'm talking about people with poor mindsets. People who pass down beliefs like family recipes. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Better safe than sorry. They don't sound dangerous at first. In fact, they sound like wisdom. But over time, they install programs in your mind, ones that keep you small, scared, and stuck. And unless you question them, you live your life like that eagle, never flying because no one around you believed it was possible. You were programmed before you were aware, but awareness gives you power. Once you recognize those beliefs were never yours, you can delete them. And when you delete them, you make space for new ones. Here's the emotional part, and it hurts. Some of the people keeping you small are the ones you love most. Your childhood friends, your cousins, the ones you laughed with, struggled with, grew up with. They don't mean harm, but they hold you back. You mention your goals, and they make jokes. You start building something, and they doubt you. You evolve, and they say, you've changed. And yes, you have changed. That's what growth looks like. But to them, it feels like betrayal because your ambition reminds them of their comfort. Your progress forces them to look in the mirror. So instead of cheering you on, they pull you back down to their level, not out of hate, but out of fear. Fear of being left behind. And here's what you need to understand. You don't owe anyone your stagnation, not even the people who love you. You're allowed to outgrow people. In fact, growth demands it. One man said it best, the cost of becoming your future self is sometimes letting go of people who are addicted to the past version of you. And that's a brutal price, but a necessary one. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to stop shrinking yourself to fit into old spaces. You were not built to live a smaller life just to make others comfortable. Here's something powerful to understand, something most people overlook. Success is contagious. And so is mediocrity. Think about it. Ever wonder why winners hang out with other winners? Why certain groups of people just seem to move faster, dream bigger, and execute harder? It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's not that they're born with better genetics or handed secret opportunities. It's proximity. Ideas behave like viruses. They spread. Beliefs, same thing. Habits, mindset, energy, all of it is contagious. That's why your environment matters more than almost anything else. If you spend your time with 5 people who complain about life, fear risk, blame others, and always wait for the perfect time, guess what? You will become the 6th. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. We absorb the energy around us. We adopt the language of the people we speak with most. We start to normalize the standards we're exposed to every single day. But here's the beautiful flip side. Surround yourself with 5 builders. People who talk about ideas, who take responsibility, who embrace challenge, who think in decades, not just weekends. And your thinking will evolve. Even if you don't try to change, you will. Your beliefs start shifting simply by being in the room. Your identity starts adjusting just by proximity to a higher standard. And no, this doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off or pretend to be someone you're not. It's not about being fake, it's about survival. Growth needs oxygen, but too many people are trying to grow in rooms filled with smoke. Rooms filled with gossip, judgment, jealousy, bitterness, scarcity, air so thick with fear and small-mindedness that nothing can breathe. So sometimes the smartest, most courageous thing you can do is leave the room. That's why masterminds work, why events matter, why mentorship calls, private groups, even active comment sections online actually change people. Not just because of what's taught, but because of what's normalized. You shift from thinking, am I crazy for wanting more, to realizing, I've been playing small this whole time. Your life starts to transform the moment you change your room. Not just physically, but mentally, digitally, spiritually. Get around voices that speak to your future more than your fears, because sometimes the difference between stuck and soaring is who you're standing next to. Rebuild your circle. Now maybe you're thinking, but what if my whole circle is negative? What if I don't know any successful people? What if I'm the only one in my life who thinks like this? Good, because that means you're the first. And being first is one of the most powerful, most transformative positions you can ever be in. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're a seed breaking through old soil for the very first time. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your first upgrade doesn't cost $1. You don't need a mentor flying private or a ticket to $1 million event. What you need is access to better inputs. And that starts with content, books, podcasts, YouTube videos like this one, speakers whose voices shake something inside of you, stories that remind you who you really are, messages that hit so hard they interrupt the noise. Let those voices become louder than the ones that keep you small. And then, once that seed is planted, start moving with intention. Get in the comment sections, join the discussions, attend meetups, send that DM, start conversations, offer value, say something kind, say something smart, show up again. You'd be amazed how quickly your circle starts to shift when your energy aligns with growth. You don't need 100 people backing you. You don't need a loud crowd or a giant tribe. You just need a few who see the same sky you're trying to fly toward. A few who remind you that you're not crazy, that your goals aren't too big, that you're not dreaming too much. The first step to leveling up is not money. It's not connections. It's not talent. It's a decision. A decision to raise your standards, to stop apologizing for wanting more, to move even if no one claps, to believe even if no one else sees it yet. And if that decision feels uncomfortable, if it feels unfamiliar, awkward, even lonely at first, good. That means you're stretching. That means you're evolving. That means you're not a chicken anymore. You were never meant to blend in. You were never built to play small. You were born to fly. The eagle was never meant to cluck, and neither are you.